Welcome to my second video of filming and posting every single day in January 2025. So being the second day of the new year, you probably have some goals that you'd like to make happen this year. And what I want to share with you in this video is one way to think about goal setting that I wish I knew about when I was in my 20s and younger. And that is this concept of be, do, have. So what most of us do when we're goal setting is to focus on the having part, the thing that we want to have materialize. So for example, I want to have X relationship by the end of the year. I want to have made X amount of dollars. I want to have lost X amount of kilos or pounds. And you might also focus on the actions that you need to take in order for that to happen. So for example, I want to make X amount of dollars this year, so therefore I need to do X, Y, Z, and that is your plan of action for how you would like to make that happen. But what most of us don't do is clearly define and articulate who we need to be in order to be the person that wants to take those actions and therefore can have that thing that we want. And so what is the be? What do I mean by focusing on the be? The be and the be do have. So this is about what you believe and what you feel about yourself in relation to that thing that you want. So what is your identity? What is your self-image, your self-concept in relation to that thing? Do you truly feel that you are someone who deserves to have that thing? Truly. So, as an example, if you want to lose 10 kilos this year, let's say that's your goal for 2025, and let's say you do all the right things, you take all the right actions, you go to the gym X amount of times a week, you eat all the right foods. If you haven't also cultivated the identity of someone that is 10 kilos lighter, you'll either not end up doing all the right things, you'll fall off the diet, or you stop exercising, etc., or you lose all that weight, but then you might end up putting it all back on again. If you want to be someone that makes, say, $1 million this year, and you've got a plan of action for all the things that you think you need to do in order to get there, the being part makes you focus on, do I really think of myself as someone who makes $1 million a year? Does that feel comfortable? At my core, do I truly believe that I'm someone that makes $1 million a year or deserving of it? Or does the idea of I make $40,000 a year or $50,000 a year, does that feel more comfortable? If you just focus on the actions that you think it takes and the having part, but you haven't also focused on the being, the who you need to be, it'll be difficult for it to last. You'll either end up just sabotaging yourself because the actions that you needed to take were too much of a push, a struggle. It wasn't an easy, effortless, natural extension of who you needed to be. Or maybe you actually end up getting there, end up having that thing that you want, but you just can't keep it for long because who you are, the being part, isn't aligned with the thing that you now have. There's a movie called I Am Pretty with Amy Schumer. It's a romantic comedy, and I think it really demonstrates well the concept of be, do, have. So Renee, played by Amy Schumer, she's very insecure about her body, and this affects all areas of her life. She has low self-worth, she's sad, she's lonely, she's very unhappy. And one day she makes a wish that she is beautiful, and she hits her head, and she wakes up and she believes that she is beautiful. And this belief makes her feel confident and so good about herself. And she does all these things that she could not have done before, not because she physically couldn't do those things, but because her self-concept wouldn't have allowed her to. And so she applies for a dream job, she approaches this guy, and he becomes her love interest in the movie. And nothing in her circumstances have changed. The only thing that changed was her belief about herself and how she felt about herself, and that changed everything. So from that place of feeling good, the be, she did certain things like applying for a dream job and ended up having certain things like the dream job in that case. You've probably also heard of lottery winners who win the lotto and then they end up losing it all and sometimes even more years after they win. And so what's changed in their case is the having part. They've now got $1 million, but who they are, how they see themselves, how they feel about themselves may not have changed in relation to wealth and abundance and money. In their minds, they might still see themselves as being poor or broke, or maybe not truly deserving of that win. And so they may find ways to squander that money or give that money away because it's not comfortable. And so if you've set yourself a goal this year, I'd ask yourself to think about the version of you that has that thing. What does he or she believe about themselves in relation to that thing? How do they feel about themselves? What would they say after the words, I am? What you say after the words, I am, is truly powerful. So if we go back to the I want to make $1 million a year example, what would that person, that version of you believe about themselves, and how would they feel about themselves and their worth and their deservability? What do they believe about wealth and abundance and their ability to make that happen? So maybe the beliefs could be, I'm a millionaire in the making, I am abundance, I am abundant, I am a successful entrepreneur, I'm a successful entrepreneur in the making, I'm continuously learning every day, I am powerful beyond measure, I am responsible for making this happen, etc. If you don't know what that version of yourself would say or believe about themselves, then think of someone who has that thing that you want. And if they're a public person, then great, you can watch videos on YouTube or perhaps read books that they've written, but you want to consider what they think and feel about themselves. Now, I also realize that just saying focus on the being, the who you are, and you can have what you want. I know that it's not as simple as that. And if there is resistance to changing the way that you see yourself, the reality is that you might just have to spend some time healing. And that is healing the pain, the underlying root cause that is keeping you from changing how you see yourself. And so whether that's working on your self-esteem, delving into your past pain and trauma, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and releasing the past. These might be some things that you need to work on and healing from that pain as you also work on defining who you want to be in order to have what you really want. Let me know if you have any comments or any questions about anything in this video. I will see you tomorrow.